Casey Gray here from The Conscious Builder. There's a lot of talk these days about reducing our carbon footprint, and one of those ways is to purchase carbon offsets. You see it in a lot of things out there, including plane tickets. So we're going to discuss 4 things to consider if you're thinking about purchasing those carbon offsets for your project. Now, carbon offsets may not be the best solution, but they can often help you depending on what your goals and priorities are for your project. In order to purchase carbon offsets, you need to go to a carbon management company, and there are 5 main types of projects: renewable energy, energy efficiency, fuel switching, methane recovery, which includes landfill recovery and livestock waste management, and biological carbon sequestration, which includes forestation, which is also where most of the offsets go when you purchase through an airline. A lot of the negative news comes from that last option, which is the carbon sequestration. In 2020, the Nature Conservancy was accused of selling 96,000 carbon credits to JP Morgan with the intent to protect 2,380 acres of trees in Pennsylvania that were at risk of deforestation. However, the trees were never endangered to begin with. The forest was being preserved by the Hawk Mountain Sanctuary Association, which is a $3 million organization that protects the forest area and sees 60,000 visitors per year. The trees haven't been touched in 85 years and aren't going to be at risk anytime soon, yet JP Morgan still used their purchase to cancel out their employee air travel emissions. Now, here are 4 things to consider when you're purchasing your offsets. Number 1 is additionality. What that means is that you want to purchase something that needs your money in order to happen. Otherwise, if it was already going to happen, your money isn't actually offsetting something. This would be a common concern with landfill, methane recovery, and renewable energy projects where municipalities may already have regulations or incentives in place. Number 2 would be unique ownership. What that means is that you don't want your project to be able to be sold more than one time. Renewable energy projects can have this problem as well. So an example would be reductions from a wind farm, which could be claimed by an electrical utility, the purchaser of the electricity, and the state or province the wind farm is located in. Number 3 would be permeance. So what that means is how long is that carbon going to stay captured or continue to capture. So for example, if you have a tree that is capturing carbon, but that tree is at risk of a forest fire, well then there's a chance that all that carbon is going to be released. There's also some debate on whether or not building with wood, for example, chopping trees down and using it to build, is helping or not. Personally, my opinion is that it is a good product to build with, at least where we are. We have an abundance of trees, but you do need to make sure that you're replacing those trees so that you can continue to sequester that carbon. The David Suzuki Foundation was quoted as saying the latest science recommends we should be aiming for 100 years. And one way to make sure that this happens is through legal land guarantees. For example, land that is to remain forested in perpetuity. Number 4 would be leakage. What that means is that if you purchase offsets in one area, but that moves them to another area, then you're not really getting any offsets. A simple example would be logging. If you protect one forest from logging, but then that logging operation just moves to another forest, you're not really saving anything. If this is something that you're looking into, I recommend that you continue to do your own research, but you can check out the link from the David Suzuki Foundation that has the report about things that we discussed here, and they go in more in depth, as well as rank the carbon management companies and which ones they think are best. You can see that link in the show notes below. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, and a great way to support the channel is to simply hit that like button below. If you want to learn more about a zero carbon home that we are a part of, you can check out this video here. And until next time, I'm Casey Gray, and remember to live consciously.